Hey everyone, welcome back. Hopefully this is not catching my vest making weird noises. But today what we're going to do is replace the brake light bulb in my vehicle. I have a 2018 RAV4, Toyota RAV4, and one of the brake lights is out. So the RAV has 3 brake lights. There's one on the hatchback, and then obviously the 2 on the sides of the car. And the driver's side one is out. So today we need to replace that. But there's an interesting story about just sort of figuring out what and how to do that. I'm taking that vest off because it's just going to make weird noises while I'm talking. Anyways, so the brake light bulb is burnt out. So I know I need to replace it. So last weekend I went into Canadian Tire and went up to the auto parts department and asked for the replacement bulb for a 2018 RAV4. And the fellow that was there started looking in his computer, and he spent a long time looking in his computer, and I was starting to wonder what was going on. So I said, listen, I got to go get a few things in the store, so I'll come back in a few minutes, because he was trying to find the bulb part. So I'll come back in a few minutes. And he says, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. And I said, well, just give me the bad news, because when people say that, there's never good news, right? So he says, well, I've done the research and I've looked online and I've looked in our books, and I cannot find a replacement bulb for the RAV4 brake light, the 2018 RAV4 brake light. According to my research and what I see here, you have to replace the whole light assembly to replace the brake light bulb. And I'm like, does that make sense? And he's like, well, that's what it says here. And I said, I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just saying that, does that make sense? Like that Toyota would build a car where you couldn't replace the brake light bulb? He says, well, I see a back, the light bulb for backing up and when you have your headlights on, but I don't see a brake light bulb, and my research says you have to replace the whole light assembly. I'm like, well, how much would that cost? Like a couple $100? He goes, oh yeah, it'll be like $400 or $500. I'm like, yeah, this just doesn't make sense to me. I said, well, can you find a brake light bulb for 2019 RAV? And he was looking and he couldn't find it. And eventually he found the bulb number. So he was able to go to the rack and find the bulb that goes in there. But he said that you can't replace it. You have to, just the bulb, you have to replace the whole light assembly. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to call my garage, my mechanic. This was on the weekend, so on Monday, and sort of figure that out. And I came home and I'm like, that just makes no sense. So I did what I always do. I did my research and I started looking at YouTube University and looking at videos of mechanics replacing the bulb in a 2018, 13, 17, all the years brake light bulb. Because yes, of course you can replace it. It would make absolutely zero sense for a company like Toyota, any car company, to build a car where you couldn't just replace the bulb. It's just a little bulb. I think it cost me like $5-7 total for 2. Anyways, so we got the bulb. We figured out how to do it. I watched multiple videos. It looks very straightforward. I'm sure it will be straightforward. I can't imagine that it will be difficult. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to replace the bulb and see how that goes. Keaton's going to be helping me. Well, by help, he's going to be holding the camera while I do it. And so I'm sure you'll hear some of him in the background. But we're going to get that done because, let's face it, this can't be that hard. So that just goes to show that it's always really important to do your research, because it's not that he was trying to tell me something that he didn't believe was true, but you don't always get 100% of the information you need it's important to do your own research and educate yourself as well, so that you know if something that you're being told is accurate. Because obviously he was not familiar with this. He'd obviously never dealt with that before. I'm sure the mechanics in his shop, if I'd taken it in to Canadian Tire to get the brake light bulb replaced, it would easily cost me a couple $100, just flat fee for their time to do it. And, you know, for under $10, I have an extra bulb if I need it. So anyways, I'm going to show you how to do it so that if you have a RAV, you can, you'll know how to do it yourself as well. And if you, any other brand of vehicle that you have, you can find anything on YouTube. You can see, learn how to do anything. And even if it's something that you're not sure you can do yourself, at least you'll know what you're asking for, and you'll know what your mechanic is doing for you, so that you're educated, right? You know what's happening. I think that's the important thing. Obviously, having a good mechanic is very important, but there's a lot of things that we can do ourselves. And then you also have the satisfaction of having done it yourself. So
my big tiny house life, would you like to comment on the socks and Crocs? Intellectually, I understood when I moved out here that it was going to rain all the time, but emotionally, I didn't fully understand just how often it rains on Vancouver Island.
So after watching multiple videos, I'm told that this is not as hard as it looks. So it's this side that is out. So here's what we're going to need for this project. We're going to need a 10mm socket and a wrench. And we're going to need the proper bulb for your RAV. These are the Sylvania, yeah, a 7443. And you're going to need some rubber gloves, because as Keaton has told me multiple times, you can't touch the bulb, the new bulb, with your fingers, or the oils on them will decrease the life of it. And so have the mechanics in the videos that I've been watching. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we have to remove these two bolts. That's the first step. And I don't know how hard this is going to be. No, not at all. They just look so rusted in that I thought for sure these were going to be hard to get out. Don't lose the bolts.
Don't lose the bolts. Yeah.
All right, so once the bolts are out, what we need to do is pull this whole light assembly off. There's three clips, one here, one in the center, one back here, that are holding it in, and we have to pull it out. I don't know if I'm going to be strong enough to do this, but they showed doing it multiple ways, so do that. All right. Oops. There's a little bit of water caught in there.
That's the blinker fluid that mechanics always send their novices out to go get.
The blinker fluid.
Yep. Right up there with checkerboard paint and left-handed screwdrivers.
We have two little grommets here. The gray one is for your lights, when your lights are on. The brown one is the one that's for the brake lights. And let's put our gloves on, because we do not want to do this again anytime
I'm surprised
soon.
the guy at Canadian Tire didn't tell you that.
The guy at Canadian Tire did not know.
Oh.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to turn it a little quarter turn counterclockwise to get it out. Press in and counterclockwise. And now we have our burnt out bulb. You can see it's actually gray. It actually is burnt out. So we're just going to wiggle that out. So that's the new bulb. We're just going to wiggle that in.
Does the orientation matter?
No. No. It just goes in, and now we put it back in. And put it back in. put it back in. Get in there, you son of a bish.
Thankfully, you've got the wonders of editing to make it look like you did this all first try, no problem.
No, I'm not gonna. No, okay, sorry. So there's little grooves there that fit in, and then you turn a quarter turn clockwise, and you're done.
Beautiful.
That's it. But I do kind of want to let this drain. So this just because we can see how much water's in there.
Yep.
So we'll come back when this is fully drained. So we can see, if we get closer, that there's a notch here that fits into this plastic piece there. There's this little piece that fits in there. And there's, where's the other little piece? There's another little piece down here that fits in there. And that's what we're aiming for when we're putting this back. So we just want to sort of line things up. And then there. All right. And that is RAV4 Maintenance 101. Okay, so we're not quite done. And those of you who are paying attention will have noticed I didn't put the bolts back in yet. So we're not quite finished. Yeah, anyways, we're gonna put the bolts back in. Again, this won't be hard. Oh my gosh. Hold on. You don't need that.
No.
You don't need that.
So tell me, Mom, what would you rather take in a fight, a mime or a clown?
I don't want to fight a mime or a clown. The clowns make me very, very nervous.
Sure.
So I guess a mime?
To my mind, it's about if you have the focus to overpower a mime, you might be able to outmime him. But a clown, I mean, who knows what's going on there?
It's just diabolical.
For sure. Maybe he sprays some acid in your face from his little flower. Maybe he just like pulls out 10 feet of tied together rags out of his mouth and chokes you out with them. Fighting a mime is so much more unpredictable, or a clown.
They're making clowns sound even more scary now.
Oh.
All right, now, now we are done. Don't forget to put the bolts back in. Just saying. Don't expect that this thing would come off, but just saying. So now we're finished. Well, there you go. That's as hard or as simple as it needed to be. I think I made it a little bit more difficult by forgetting to put the bolts back. Don't forget to put the bolts back. But really, not a difficult thing to do. And now I think I am going to go get this thing washed because it looks really pathetic and dirty. Having said that, it is kind of supposed to rain this week, but I should still get it washed, right? Yeah, right. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're staying safe. Let me know if you've ever done anything like that. Let me know what kind of vehicle maintenance you take on yourself and what you prefer to let somebody else do. Because, again, there's nothing wrong with paying somebody else to do things, obviously. But if it's things we can do ourselves and save ourselves a whole lot of money, I think it's important to at least try. So I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're staying safe. Remember, in a world where you can be anything, be kind, including to yourself. I love you, and I'll see you next time.
I'm going to show you the view from outside the front of Mom's place. My trailer's just right down over that way. A few slots over. I call this little area the Glade. Oh, the white trash mahal is not... I wasn't expecting company today. Oh, you can see the outside of it. Come with me. This is my beautiful fifth wheel. Honest to God, this is the way to go about it. You look at studio rentals around here or pretty much anywhere in Canada. I'm paying a third of that, and I've got my own full... There it is. The West Wind, the white trash mahal. You can see we've skirted it for the winter, not very beautifully. We're going to tuck all of that under, and we're going to put up a little wooden lattice work around here to make it look much nicer. Over here, we've got, of course, our bin storage, and easily where I lose the most amount of heat. This is my swag wagon. It's surviving, and that's more than enough for positives I can say about that car. If we come around the back, we will see scenic stack of tires. Another beautiful little local attraction. Not very well known. You know, you're not going to see this one right on the side of the highway, but once you become a proper islander, you gain access to all these beautiful little hidden locations.